good morning to you. Joe DeCamera and John Ritchie. We got Ruben Amaro in studio. We got Rhea. We got Seltzer. We got Jason Kelce, as he is every single Thursday at this time. Brought to us by his company, Garage Beer. Get yourself some Garage Beer. Jason, let's talk about your transition to broadcasting. So it's been a couple weeks now, mainstream broadcasting, let's call it.
Yeah.
Because, you know, the podcast and the whole thing for some years now. But the Monday Night Football gig and that, what has it been like for you, and what has surprised you doing these first couple weeks?
I don't know what surprised me, because I didn't go in with too many preconceived notions about what to expect, but I think just the amount of football you have to watch. I mean, when you're preparing for an opponent and you're going to, the NovaCare complex every day and you're watching tape, that's way different than, watching multiple games, hopefully every game, and all the games of the teams that are playing that week. It is a lot of football games to watch and keep track of. There's definitely an immense amount of respect for people that are doing this, have done this for a long time. The guys that I'm on set with, I've really leaned on them to help me, because it's hard. It's hard to really be able to. You got to come in there with energy. You got to come in there with the right mindset. And when it's live, you have to be able to offer something of substance in that moment. When you're podcasting, I can just mess around with my brother. In a span of 2 hours, we're going to get some interesting stuff. We're just talking, right? It's going to happen. And I go on enough tangents that helps. But I think that doing that on a Monday Night Countdown, a structured show with commercials, you get a certain segment in there. Yeah, but at the same time, you kind of have to go with wherever it's going. It's been fun to be a part of, and also humbling for sure.
Jason, does it feel like you're at a disadvantage because you've been playing? I mean, I know that sounds crazy, but the other guys that you're on set with, they've been talking about the game every year for the last several years. You were out there playing. Yeah. You weren't worried about formulating, ideas to talk about, comparing teams and that sort of thing. Yeah. Do you feel like it set you back a little bit? Like you're playing catch up now?
Yeah. I think being recently out of football definitely has disadvantages of not having experience and really understanding what the viewer wants to hear, like different even just like phrases and things like that. I think that go a long way. I think that it offers a lot of advantages of stories, timeliness. I just played this coordinator last year. I know he likes this, this, and this. Like, there's definitely advantages to it.
Everyone wants to hear that.
No question.
But there's certainly the disadvantages are that I've never done this before, and I don't know what I'm doing. I'm out there winging it on a national spotlight with a bunch of other guys that thankfully do know what they're doing. But I'm still transitioning also to thinking about the player thinking about the game from an analyst role, not a player role. And like Ryan got me last week, I'm watching Jacksonville play, and man, if they can just improve on third down in the red zone, the offense could actually be pretty good. And Ryan's like, yeah, but they're not good on third down and red zone, so they're bad. And I was like, yeah, but so I still think of it in terms of hey, let's do this, this, and this better. We'll be a better team, as opposed to what are they right now? And just look at it there. And it was a good moment for me.
Yeah, and I think John, you do the same thing.
It is hard
frequently
to break that habit. You see that and you assume that they will continue to work on these things because clearly they should.
Right.
And it'll just get better.
So Jason, what I always tell John, amongst other things, the other 31 teams are working on it also. So it's not a one team.
Right.
Whatever I'm trying to say. This is not a science experiment with only one constant.
If we only do better against the blitz, we'll be much better at the end of last season.
All right, let's go to the phones.
Unfortunately, it never happened.
Mixing in some calls with Jason here with us for about an hour. Let's talk to Randy calling from Delaware. Hi, Randy.
Hey, how you doing, the cantaloupe? How you doing today?
Let me tell you something.
Oh, wow.
It's a falsity. It was not I with that cantaloupe. It's my roommate.
I know, but I stay there every time I call you, buddy.
I like it, Randy. I don't think Joe likes it.
Well, it's a little uncomfortable. You're getting accused of improper...
Of hollowing out a cantaloupe and
relationship
doing stuff?
with a cantaloupe?
Yeah.
Improper usage?
In the words of Bill Clinton, I did not have sexual relations with that cantaloupe.
You said your
exactly what Bill said.
Roommate heated it up in the microwave,
He did. All right, Randy, what do you got for us?
Wow.
Jason's like, what the hell is happening right now?
Yeah, we all
heated it.
We all have some stories from college. We'll leave those there.
Yeah, right.
All right, Randy, go ahead, buddy.
Jason, man. I'm looking at the Eagles D line, and I'm pretty excited about having Jalen Carter on our team. I think he's got that, and Nick Sirianni words, that dog mentality. And I wouldn't want to be standing across from him when he's heated up in the middle of a game. Just watching him, he comes off firing off the ball, going nuts. So if we could just, and I'm the same way. When it comes to my way of thinking, Jason, I'm more about the team. And with my job, it takes a team effort, and I'm constantly trying to think of something that's gonna better the team. So, I can get that. I just think that we need to get somebody on this edge and get somebody coming off the ball to get to this quarterback. That's our biggest thing.
Yeah, it's a fair criticism. I think Jalen Carter was. If you look at the Atlanta game and last game, what happened in Atlanta? He played one of the best guards in the league, an all-pro, and Chris Lindstrom did a good job against him. And Jalen had his moments as well, but that neutralized Jalen Carter. And right now, so much of what's flourishing on that D-line is caused because of Jalen Carter. And when you're kind of handcuffed to one guy, like if I'm an opposing offensive line coach, I am trying to take Jalen Carter out of the game. And I'm doing that structurally. I'm doing that in 4-down with calls and things like that. I'm going to do everything I can to not give that guy one-on-one matchups with people.
Jason, is that part of why he gets frustrated and starts yelling at people in the stands? I mean, does that add up by the end of a game where you're getting doubled and tripled?
Well, I know Aaron Donald used to get really pissed when we would double team him. Like, Aaron, I'm not going to let you ruin the game. Like, what do you think? Why would I leave you one-on-one with a guard? You're the best player in the world. So
you guys handled him so well through those.
Every time.
Yeah, we put two people on him. That's the best thing.
I know, but other teams did too.
Yeah, no, but other teams didn't. There's structural things that we would do that other teams wouldn't go that far.
Gotcha.
Like there's 5-down fronts where it's like everybody in the world. If you put a 5, and I think it's whatever, everybody in the world puts a 5-down front up. It's going to be a man calling a 6-man protection. It's going to be mano a mano. If Aaron Donald was there, we're like, no, we'd rather have the back block the defensive end than let this guy have a one-on-one matchup. We feel better with that.
That's taking a chance.
I think that is where we went further with it to really neutralize him because we felt like he was that big of a game wrecker.
That's something.
So I think that Jalen is not at that level yet, but he's going to see these double teams. He's going to see the slide going his way. You need other guys. BG, when he's gotten his minimal reps, has still looked like the same guy that he's always been. Yeah. Josh Sweat looks great at times. They really need to get Huff going, and I don't know what the answer to that is. I think that it just seems like he's a little bit lost at times, and he just isn't in a rhythm, and sometimes maybe designing games where he can hit things at full speed, blitzes where he can slant in and use his speed to his advantage. I thought he did better setting the edge this week in the run game. Like you can tell he wants to improve, but still hasn't had the production as a pass rusher.
Hey, Randy, give me an answer. What's only happened one time?
Well, right quick. Can I say something to Jason right quick?
Sure.
Jason, I wanted to thank you. I'm the guy you texted that was having some mental health issues, veteran.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I want to jump on here and thank you for that, brother. You helped me out. I really appreciate that.
Well, thank you, Randy.
That was straight up crazy cool, man. I was doing crazy stuff that I wouldn't realize. And when I got a message from Jason Kelce, I kind of snap out of it. You know what I mean? So I really appreciate what you did, man.
Of course.
Randy, God bless you, man. That's an amazing story there. Randy, what only happened one time?
Only happened one time.
Yeah, this is for Kevin Hart tickets.
Ooh.
Kevin Hart tickets. Only happened one time. I only fell in love one time with my wife.
That's a great answer.
That's a great answer.
That's a great answer. Now, other people have fallen in love.
Winning.
Yes, I've only fallen in love with my life one time.
We need to clip that out so we can send that over.
Holy mackerel. That was something. Jason, what's something that only happened one time that's really notable?
Oh, my
here some of the answers we heard today. D.B. Cooper, the only time someone hijacked a plane and never got caught. Like, ultimately, the plane's got to land somewhere, obviously other than September 11th, different scenario.
Yeah.
But at some point you're going to get the guy that tried to hijack a plane.
Yeah, I didn't know that anybody had gotten
That
away
guy jumped out of the plane.
In a parachute.
They never found him. Okay, so you got that guy. There was smallpox, which is the only disease ever eradicated. These are some heavy answers. What is something... Now, by the way, non-sports. Now let's say Eagles win the Super Bowl. That's
a good one. It's probably my favorite.
Me too, buddy. Me too.
Yeah. Now that Randy, was that Randy took?
It's a hard one, man.
Yeah.
Randy.
You think that might be too much?
No, it's good. I think I would say one time we have only can't say sports.
We're killing him with the
How about I
non.
play-
in the grinder
let me play Nick Sirianni audio real
All right,
quick.
I'll think about
while
it for
you
a
think
second.
about that,
Yes.
let's go back to yesterday because John, we're all trying to figure out the Sirianni thing. His role. He gave an answer yesterday, more clarity, but also to me, it's like a slightly more confused because I just don't know exactly where the lines are drawn. Here's Sirianni yesterday, his role in the offense, his role with the team. Here's Sirianni yesterday.
I'm still in there and still, I think, in the past, it's been kind of going through the game plan and saying, hey, we're going to do this, 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 and this, and then in these scenarios, sitting in there listening a little bit more, not running the ship as far as like, hey, I'm driving. We're gonna talk about this. I'll lead the direction of the conversation. It's more now. I'm sitting passenger seat, listening to the conversation, adding my information. Again, I'm not going to be shy to say, hey, here's what I think in this scenario, or here's what I think in that scenario. But it is more, I'm letting Kellen drive the car.
I got to tell you,
I wish he would just stop answering these
You think
things.
he should stop?
I wish these things would stop being asked.
But we ask
it is
because
an
we don't-
impossible thing to describe. What he's being asked to describe. Yeah. This is like, okay, so you're overseeing everything, Nick. Like, I really don't think this is fair to Nick.
Well,
and I'm not a huge Nick fan. I think that this is an impossible ask.
So here's
Nick,
it's
tell
tough.
us with exacting description,
right,
what you do.
Well, here's the thing. So, Jason, here's where it got more complicated this week. And John's right. He's talked a lot, and maybe he should stop answering it. I don't know. But where it got complicated is he obviously overruled
it's a lose-lose.
Kellen Moore on the play. And we had wondered, does Nick have the authority to call a play this year? And what we found out
is yes.
Is the answer is yes.
Yeah, and I first of all, I don't know that he overruled Kellen.
Well, let's put it this way. He called the play.
He made the play. And I think that
yes.
Nick is in charge of certain situations, right? Like that's what your main job is as a head coach. And in these critical situations, whether it's timeouts taken, game management, fourth down decisions, that's where he is spending all of the time allocated towards what these analytics are, what the metrics are, what's the right decision in those specific ones. And I think that that's what he means with those moments when he's talking about taking over play calling. And I think that that probably happens on defense too, knowing when to call timeouts and everything. That this isn't it has to do with offense. But and I feel for him with trying to describe what you do, because really his job is to organize everything. He's making all of the decisions on what these guys do, what they're in charge of, what the offense looks like, what the defense looks like. He's overseeing all of it. Like, what does a CEO do? I don't know what a CEO does, but I know that they're in charge of facilitating the entire organization's stance in all of these different facets. That's what Nick Sirianni does. And he makes critical decisions when it means the most. And I think by and large, he gets those really, really right sometimes. There's some like this last week where it's like, man, I don't know if that was the right one, but I think that he's by and large very good at clock management and fourth down decisions.
Let's do two final things here, Jason. We appreciate you being in here for an hour. Two final things. We had a poll yesterday, audience, thousands of people voted. Do you believe in Nick Sirianni as the Eagles head coach? Like a simple question, take it where you will. Do you believe in him, yes or no? More people said no than yes. You've been a big advocate of him since the beginning.
Yeah.
What is it that you see that we don't see as much that gives you more belief in Nick than many other people have?
Yeah, well, I see him every day, where I did. Right. I have a personal relationship with the guy, and you see his investment in the team. You see his willingness and ability to make the team better regardless of what's at stake, whether it's personally for him. It might not even be the best interest in him. The way he answers a question in the media, the way he gives up play calling, all of these things that he's done in the past and is still doing shows me that he has an accountability to the team to do what's in the best interest of those guys. He truly loves his players, and he is doing the best he can and trying to make the team better. And I think that by and large, he's doing a great job of that over his entire tenure. Obviously, last year, we struggled. We struggled big time on offense and defense. We replaced coordinators. We replaced one coordinator in the middle of the season. Yeah. And everything that happened with players gone and coaches in didn't work. But I think that he's had a very successful tenure, and I think that a lot of that comes down to his competitiveness, his desire to be the best coach he can be and improve, and he's continuing to do that. And I saw that on a day-to-day basis. You see it as he, I don't want to say cover, the way he answers questions in the media, guys respect that. And then he also keeps guys accountable. I'm not messing with, I'll say this wholeheartedly. He's the best team meeting coach I've ever been around.
Wow.
And I wasn't with Bill Belichick. I know Bill
because
would do
he
similar
held your
things.
attention.
Yeah, well, and I was also young with Andy, so I wasn't like evaluating Andy Reid as a head coach in team meetings. Like I was just like, whatever you want me to do. I'm a first-year player, right? Like I'm not in that mold at that point in my career. But no, he would hold guys accountable. He's showing plays. He's showing what you did well and pointing it out and celebrating it. And he's showing where we need to improve at and what went wrong in the game. And he's putting his name up there. He's putting my name up there. He's putting defensive players' names up there.
Everyone out if they deserve it.
And it's not like a calling out. It's just like, hey, we're being accountable here. We need to improve this. And like, there's something about that happening in a team meeting when everybody's watching that it means a lot more. There's a level of openness that, okay, everybody is seeing that the D-line struggled in this, right? Because when it doesn't happen in the team meeting, like everybody kind of knows it, but it's not apparent. Like now we're going to show this. We're going to show somebody losing a one-on-one in a practice in front of the whole team. So
and that's
you're going to go out there the next day.
Yeah.
Do you want to be embarrassed in front of all your peers
in
the next meeting? So I think he does a lot of things really well. He's certainly not perfect, but I just really have appreciated those aspects of him.
Do you think that players, because he is holding practices that are 45 minutes, that is kind of nice. You guys are appreciative of that side.
Correct.
He is kinder, gentler. Does that influence the way you feel about Nick because he's easy?
I think that regardless of whether a coach is, I don't like kinder or gentler. All coaches have their own way of coaching. I have seen Jim Washburn say some things to D linemen that I'm like, you couldn't say today. Like I saw him say stuff to oh my gosh, I can't think of anyways, I saw him say stuff to D linemen where like, dude, that's like, what are you doing right now? Guys loved him. And they would have run through a brick wall for Jim Washburn. It more comes down to, at the end of the day, does the player feel like this guy really cares about me and does he want the best out of me? And however you get to that. Now, I don't think that people just like Nick Sirianni because the practices are easy. I don't think that at all. I think that, and this year they're not. They've been practicing harder this year than they ever have under his tenure. And guys want to improve at the game. They might hate practicing hard at times, but at the end of the day, people want to get better. And when the coach is doing it with the right intentions and he's genuine and it's not some show, which I've seen as well, which that's way more annoying. A guy going up in front of a team and ripping people, if it's deserved and it makes sense and it's true, very seldom is that an issue. When it's an issue is a guy's going up there and ripping somebody when he made a bunch of other mistakes or he's doing it to like somehow like elicit some response. That's when it's a problem. So, anyways.
Jason, we love having you on the show.
Awesome.
We really do. Let me remind everyone, Garage Beer, get it. It's Jason's company. It's beer. So Jason Kelce plus beer equals you. Drink it. The garage is always open. Light beer like it used to be. Find Garage Beer at your local retailer or online at garagebeer.com. Official beer of the Kelce brothers and dads everywhere. Thanks, Jason. Stay well, bud.
Thanks. I guess I just found my first happens only one time.
What is it?
You become a dad.
There you go.
Becoming a dad.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is that fair?
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's
it's
a
a
good
little.
That's a big one.
You become multiple dads, but you only become a dad once.
Well done. There he is,
Great
Jason
answer.
Kelce. We appreciate Jason. Stay well.